Hey, I'm Mike Van Duzy, and your teachers have asked me to talk to you a little bit about microgreens and hydroponics. Hydroponics basically is growing without soil, and it's in water that has nutrients in it. And you probably learned about that in class, and I'm going to show you some different ways you can do it. Hydroponics, to start off with, it's basically there's a little bit of a learning curve, and it tends to be a little expensive. There's a lot of equipment you have to buy. Now, I like to try and teach people that just about anyone, anywhere can grow. So we go ahead and try to use different containers like the one you've got from your teacher, this little takeout container. We're going to be converting that into a microgreen grower so you can grow your own microgreens. And we've used just about anything. There's other sizes of takeout containers. That one just says KFC on it, right? And we're going to convert that into a little grower, grew some kale. So things that you might throw away, like this milk carton. There's another milk carton. We grow in all kinds of different containers. So just about anything you can imagine that can hold water, you can basically learn how to grow your own plants. So it's pretty cool. One quick little thing here. Have you ever seen your sweet potato? Just let it go a little too long and it started to grow, sprouted. You can break those off and use in hydroponics. I just put it into this little takeout container just like that. Cut a hole in the top. You guys will be using cloning collars. I use a little pool noodle because I'm cheap. But in a few weeks, look at all those roots. Put that in there for you. Isn't that cool? And this is just sitting in water right now. No nutrients at all. This gets a little bit bigger. I'll start putting some nutrient solution in there. Transfer it to bigger containers. One's even bigger than this. And I'll show you a little picture of the one I got outside. And all summer long, I grew sweet potato leaves, which you can actually eat. And they're a spinach substitute. This is Florida. And you guys are probably a little colder where you're at. But down here in Florida, it's real tough to grow spinach. So we have to find alternatives. And the sweet potato vines grow excellent. And we can use those. So all kinds of cool stuff that y'all can do. Different containers you can use. This one's just a little one we got in Walmart, a little snack container. I've even got this in the Dollar Tree. Not expensive at all. It's a little sippy cup. And I just took it and flipped the lid over. We cut some slots in it. And we grew some just like this. I'll show you a picture of that. So, as you can see, it's pretty cool. The really neat things you can do. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and show you how to turn one of these into a microgreen grower. Tell you how to grow your very own microgreens. And then in a future video, once your microgreens have grown, then you're going to watch one and learn how to take them from here, put them into your bigger container, and let them grow even larger. So we're going to put this aside for right now. And we're just going to work on our microgreens. Pretty much your microgreens, if you learn this in class, is any kind of seed. Like that one's big, that one's corn. It looks like popcorn, right? We've got sunflowers. You can grow sunflower sprouts. And just about any kind of seed. We've got kale and radish and amaranth. All kinds of stuff. So basically, let's just draw this up here real quick. Don't make fun of my drawing. My wife's an artist. I'm a gardener, so I'm not an artist, so don't make fun. But basically, original gardening, you get the earth, right? That's the ground. You put your seed, you plant your seed. And then after a while, it'd rain a little bit, right? You get a little rain, you get sunlight, and it starts to grow some roots. And then it sprouts, right? Y'all know when that happens. You see it, the little thing sprouting out in the garden. And then it grows a couple of leaves. His first set of leaves are called cotyledon. And when it gets to that stage, basically that's your microgreen. That's what we have here. As they grow bigger, I'll grow the next set of true leaves. But right then you can harvest it, and that's what you hear everybody talking about, microgreens. And that's it out in the ground. So we're going to grow it in here in a little bit of soil, but we're going to make it self-watering so you don't have to take care of it and watch it 3 or 4 or 5 times a day. Okay? Now when it gets to that point, we're going to take it out and put it in a container. And basically it's just taking, instead of the ground here, we're just going to have a container, which is your container that you have. And we're going to fill it up with nutrient solution, this seed's going to be gone, right? But all these roots are going to be hanging down here into the nutrient solution. And that's what you saw right here with the sweet potato. This wasn't grown from seed, but it's going to be the same basic thing. So all the roots will be hanging inside the nutrient solution, and your plants will grow. So it's a pretty cool concept. Now, like I said, we try to do it so it's as easy as possible so everybody can do it. So even you guys, you know, as young as you are, you can get out there and grow some of your own food. So it's pretty exciting. So we're going to take one of these containers, and if you've got this, I've already cut the slots in here for you. And I just did that with a soldering iron. If you do anything like that, ask your parents to help you with it. Or especially if you use, you know, any kind of sharp utensil or something to cut some slots, you want to ask your parents to help you with it. But all we're going to do is any container that you can get, that you can flip over and it'll sit in there without falling off, and it's got a little bit of a lip so you can get a little bit of soil in, that's all you need. And that's why we've got different containers like this. See, we just flip the lid over, it fits inside of there. So instead of going into the landfill, you can grow your own food, right? So let's go ahead and plant some out real quick, and I'll bring you in for a close-up so you can see, so don't worry. All right, so you've got this, you're all set up. All we're going to do is take some paper towel. You know, I like to get a couple of sheets. Now you guys, your paper towels may be a different size. You know, not all paper towels are the same. Some are bigger sheets, some are wider, some are smaller. But basically you want to have it so that it's about the same size so they'll fit through the slot. So just take a couple. I've got about 3 layers there, 3 or 4, you know, fold it over, but just kind of fold it so that it fits. See that right there? And then that way you can take it and just slide it right through the slot. Now go from, have it upside down, because this lip up here is where your soil is going to be inside of it. So go from the inside of the lid and slide it through one side. Just like that. Not hard at all, right? And you don't have to go very far because it's only got to be about that deep. Okay? Now take the other side, it's folded, and slide it in through that side on there. And let it come out about a good 2 to 3 inches, something like that. What's left here, just kind of fold to both sides and flatten it out so it's a little bit bigger. Your slots, I think that I cut for you so you wouldn't have to do this. I think I made your slots a little farther apart so you might not have to fold it like that. Just push it down, right? Now you see that? So this used to be the top, the outside, right? That's the inside. This is where we're going to be growing this stuff. Now we'll get the container and see how it fit right on top of there. Now all we'll do is plain water. Don't worry about your nutrients or anything right now. For the microgreens, we're just going to use water. And just fill that up. Okay, doesn't have to be right to the top. Now my table that I'm sitting on is a little off level because I'm in the garage, so you're probably going to be sitting on a more level table at home. And you take this and set it in there. And once you set that on top, you can watch and you'll see the water capillary action will start to wick up. And as the paper towel absorbs it, you can see it. That's the magic right there. That's what's going to keep you from having to come in and spritz and spray this every 4 to 6, 8 hours at home. This will do it on its own. So you can see that it just soaked it up, right? Now, all we have to do is put a little soil in it. I like to use a seed starting soil. So if you get any kind of potting mix, or if your teacher gives you a little, your teacher may have gave you some, but I just use Jiffy. This is natural seed starting mix because this is used for starting seeds, and basically that's what we're doing. So there's a tiny bit of nutrients in there. You don't want to put too much because it's going to burn your little tiny plants. They don't need as much nutrients as a mature plant. So this was specifically made for growing seeds, starting seeds, so works perfect for me. And we're going to just take it, and if there's any real big clumps, kind of want to just break those clumps up. So you don't want any big clumps in that. And just put a little bit in here. Now spread it around a little. Now all of this, when it's touching it, that wick will suck the water up and the soil will start to absorb it. And it'll keep it nice and moist for your seeds to start. Now you can let that sit for a little while and the moisture will start to absorb into the soil. If you're in a real hurry, if you've got a little spray bottle, or ask your mom or dad if they've got one sitting around, or if you can go get one at the dollar store. They're only $1. But if you guys have a little spritz bottle, you can go. It's just plain water. And you don't want to wait for it to soak up all that water. Just kind of spray it. Don't do it a lot of pressure because you spray soil all over the place. Just wet it down. Get it damp. Right? And then you get your seeds. I'm gonna do the mustard seeds because they're a light color and you can see it a little better on here. If I did a dark color seed like that, it would be a little harder for you to see what's going on here. So these are mustard seeds, but whatever seed you're using, it might not look exactly like this one, but you'll get the general idea of what to do. So this is a contrast to the dark soil. You'll be able to see it. And all we're going to do is just take it and sprinkle it around nice and even over the entire thing. Try to keep within like where your 2 slots are. That little area where the paper towel is underneath of it. Try to keep inside of that area right there. So we're just going to come in and sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. This is about the portion you want, and if your teacher had portioned them out for you, you don't have to worry about it. But if your teacher hasn't portioned it out, try not to do too much more than this, because if you get it packed in too much, you have problems with mold and mildew because it's too packed in there and you won't get enough air circulation. But just like that, just spread them around. You guys can come in and see that. So nothing hard at all, right? Now what I like to do is those are on there. They're sitting in the moisture. They're going to go ahead and get ready to germinate. Then what we like to do is take a little bit more and you just want to sprinkle a little bit on top. Doesn't have to be very much. This is going to help cut down on the mold and mildew issues that you might have because the self-wicking system stays wet, right? So once these germinate, if you've got a tiny little fan, like a small fan, I'll show you a picture of mine that I have, and you can circulate a little bit of air around, that would be good. But this layer here, we want this to just kind of stay kind of dry for right now. And that moisture will come up from underneath. And basically, that's all you have to do. Just come in here and just don't tamp it down or anything, just kind of lightly spread that out. Now the one last thing you want to do is cover it up. And I usually use one of my containers just like this. I've got a bunch of these sitting around, but you might not have one like that. That's just if you guys have noticed, a little soup or ramen comes in a store. Our family eats a lot of ramen. We save these and they're perfect for covering up and making it black. So you want it to be dark because you want these things to think they're underground, it's dark, and it's getting ready to sprout, right? And this is going to help hold the humidity in. So you can take this, if you got one of these sitting around the house, and you got your little spritzer, just spray it a little bit. That way it keeps it a little moist in here when you put it on like that, and it keeps a little bit of humidity in there. Now if you don't have one of these, we're just going to get some foil, a little bit of aluminum foil. And we'll do the same thing. Just go ahead and spritz it a little bit. Just like that. If you don't have the spray bottle, just run it under some water, dump the water off, and then just make sure it's just a little damp. Set it right on top like that. And don't squeeze hard. You're not wrapping up leftovers, right? Just kind of lightly close the sides. You can see it's nice and gentle. And then just leave it. Now that will sit. You want to take this and put it in a dark spot so that there's not too much light coming in. And you want it to be relatively warm. Somewhere around 78 degrees would be cool, or whatever the temperature your house is. Don't leave this in your basement or somewhere where it's like cold or it's like under 60 degrees. The seeds won't germinate. Make sure if it's comfortable for you in your house that would be a good spot for it. If it's kind of chilly in your house, you might want to set this like on top of your refrigerator or another spot in the house that you can feel it, you know, it's a tiny bit warm. And it's not warm like 90 degrees or anything, or like you're hot outside, but just where you feel comfortable. So set that aside for a couple of days and leave it alone. Lots of people like to mess with it. You can come in and check like 1 or 2 days, peek in there. The seeds are going to take 2 to 3 days to even start to germinate. Depends on what kind of plants you're growing. Some take a little bit longer to germinate, so be a little patient. But come in and you can peek at it. And if it looks really dry in the beginning, lift that up, spritz it again, right? And set it back on top. And just let it be. And before you know it, you're going to have some sprouts. You guys just let it go for about 4 or 5 days. And when they get yay big, go ahead and take this lid off. And then you're going to need some light. So if you've got a window, you're going to want to set this somewhere close to a window. Be careful moving it around because it's full of water. And we'll come back and teach you about that. But take that and set it on a windowsill or in your kitchen or somewhere where you're getting a whole lot of light. And in no time you'll have some microgreens. So we'll see you guys in the next video. I'm real excited about it because you guys are going to learn. This is part of a system of growing where I keep leafy greens growing all the time. Here in Florida, we're lucky enough I can grow outside most of the year. You guys can't. You know, some are going to have to be inside, but like I'm inside right now with some lights. If you can have some lights inside, you can grow all year round. So really interesting stuff, and it's real fantastic for everybody to learn because, you know, we only have a couple basic necessities in life, and that's like air to breathe, water to drink, and food to eat. And sadly, a lot of us depend on somebody else for our food. So when you learn to do things like this, you're empowering yourself and you're learning a skill that's going to maybe help you out when you grow up. So this is cool. We want to teach the world how to feed themselves. So I hope you guys enjoyed that and you're as excited as I am because you're learning something that's going to be very important. It's the old parable where they said if you give a man a fish and you feed him for a day, or you teach him to fish and you feed him for life, this is the same thing. I can either give you something to eat and feed you for a day, or I can teach you how to grow and feed you for life. So you guys get out there and keep on growing. You got any questions, just ask your teacher or ask me and we'll be sure to help you out. Alrighty, catch you later.